Hey, what's up, Joe Joe in the morning, family? Hope everybody is having an absolute amazing day. I know I am. You know what? I'm sitting here doing this video and I'm looking at some brand new equipment. I want to thank all the partners with Joe Joe Dawson Ministries, because without you, we wouldn't be having this new equipment. Okay, so I really appreciate you. We're always trying to make things better for you guys. It's like I always talk to you about hearing from God, moving forward with God, watching God move, signs, wonders, and miracles, God bringing the right people in your life, taking the wrong people out, helping you to move forward and advance the kingdom. Well, you know, Autumn and I and our three kids, Malachi, Judah, and Ezra, we do the same thing. We're always moving forward in every single thing that God has for us, okay? So this is what I felt led to talk about this week. Turnaround season. It's just a turnaround season. I remember, I think 2 weeks ago, I just jumped on a live video at 2 p.m. I try to go live Monday through Friday around 2 p.m. Some days I can't, but I try to as much as I possibly can. And I just did a video called Sudden Turnaround. And after that video, I probably got, I'm just going to guesstimate 40 emails. And people were talking about it was a word for them. Well, the next day, I got ready to do a video and I did something like, I think it was called a prophetic flow to turn around. And I probably got 30, 35 messages. But what happened was about 3-4 days later, after those two videos, people started messaging me like, bro, Apostle Dawson, Pastor Dawson, hey JoJo, brother man, hey dude. People respond to me different ways. We actually received the turnaround. Well, we had our next level mentoring family gathering here in Texarkana weekend before last, and a lot of people came in and they said, you know, we're starting to see our turnaround. Well, after that powerful weekend, you know, 2-3 days after that weekend, people start messaging me like, bro, you spoke on a turnaround, and some people said we fully seen it. We're in the middle of it. We're on the end of it. We're on the front of it. We feel it coming. And so I'm just like, this is it. You know, we are in a turnaround season. Autumn and I, we have this one new adventure that we're about to embark on. And she's so excited about it. I'm so excited about it. And every single person we need to be on board with this project is 100% in with us. We're just like, God, you can't make things any easier, any plainer. And so it's your turnaround season. First of all, you have to realize it. Recently, I was meeting with a gentleman and we were talking about something, and what he was talking about was very doable. And so I kind of gave him some insight and some mentoring. He said, oh, no, you know, I don't know if that worked. And he backed up with some excuses. Then he talked about doing something else, and I started giving him some advice. Oh, no. He kind of backed up on that. I said, oh, okay, here's the pattern. So he talked about a third, you know, kind of way he could do things, and I gave him some advice. And he goes, oh, no, I don't know about all that. And he backed up. And I said, bro, you're not working right now. You don't have a job. You haven't worked in much. You're not being the man of the house. You're not being the man of the family. Your wife is supporting everything. Why are you rejecting everything? God is trying to turn things around for him, but he refuses to turn around. He wants to stay stuck. He wants to let his wife go to work and provide everything, and him just to sit around and reject every turnaround that God tries to bring to him. He has key people speaking into his life. He won't listen. Why are people rejecting the turnaround? Okay, let me give you this scripture. Psalms 126, 1-3. It was like a dream come true when you freed us from our bondage and brought us back to Zion. Think about that. It was like a dream come true when you freed us from our bondage. It was like a dream come true when you freed us from our bondage. Most people, when they get freed from their bondage, they don't leave. I tell this story all the time, but I remember there was a house we used to drive by all the time, and there was a guy, he got him a dog in the backyard when it was a pup, and put this big old chain on this little bitty dog. And then I remember, you know, years went by, and one day I just kind of glanced over and I looked. I didn't see a chain on the dog. For 2 years I drove by and I didn't see a chain on that dog. And I said to a guy one day, I said, do you have like an invisible chain or like some kind of small, thin wire that you can't see? He goes, no. You know, the dog was on a chain for years, and when I took the dog off the chain, it never left the perimeter of where the chain was. I don't need a chain. And for a few years, that dog never moved out of the geographical location that it was raised, even though it was freed. It didn't do anything with its freedom. That's how a lot of people are. They go to church over and over and over, but they don't move into the turnaround that God has for them. We're in a turnaround season right now. If you're not moving forward and advancing, you need somebody to help you to get into your world, teach you how to connect with God and to build, okay? The scripture then says, we laughed and overflowed with gladness. We were left shouting for joy and singing your praise. We laughed and we were overflowing with gladness because the turnaround season had happened. So many times people get ready for just a big season of their life, a big turnaround, and they don't do anything with it. It's like if somebody was knocking on the door, like Matthew 7:7, knocking, it will be open, and the door opens and they just stand there. I'll never forget, years and years ago, we had a leadership meeting, and we were expanding our leadership team in our local ministry, and so we invited this gentleman to come in, and he knocked on the door, and I opened the door, and you could tell he had his hair fixed, and you can tell he'd ironed his shirt, and he said, hello, Apostle Dawson. I said, hey, come on in, man. Autumn has made us a spread. We've had a lot of different people bring stuff, got the coffee made. We're going to hang out for about 30 minutes, and we're going to have a leadership meeting. Yes, sir. Come on in. Yes, sir. He stood there. I said, bro, come on in. He said, I'm sorry, sir. I'm sorry, Apostle Dawson. I just don't think I'm ready for this. I said, bro, you wore me out for the last 3 months. I'm ready for leadership. I'm ready for leadership. I'm ready for leadership. I'm ready for leadership. He said, well, I didn't think you would accept me for leadership. I said, accept you? Of course I will. You're faithful. You're consistent. You're a man of God. He said, I'm sorry, sir. I can't come in. He turned around and left. He left the ministry about a month later. And he said he prayed and prayed and prayed he could get put in leadership. But when the door opened, he walked away. Gifted young man. Very, very gifted young man. But you know, that's his life. He'd worked for a company, did great, stepped out on his own because he was very good at what he did. And when his business started taking off, he got scared and went back to working for a company again, making less money. Don't miss your turnaround season. I've seen so many people who their marriage had been struggling, but then their marriage started doing better, and then all of a sudden they did something stupid. Because I had a guy tell me one time, I never thought my marriage could be as good as it is. And so I got nervous when I saw our marriage better than ever because I didn't know if I could handle it. I said, so you intentionally did something stupid? He said, yeah. That made no sense to me. A lot of people, they don't want the turnaround. Most people are more scared of success than failure. Most people are scared to step out of their comfort zone and do something great with their life. I'm telling you, friends, this is our turnaround season. Jump into what God's doing. I've been telling people to get in a perpetual flow, never ending, never changing, just a constant perpetual flow with God, and you will see things happen. So in this turnaround season that we are in right now, flow with the Lord, and you are going to be doing everything God said you were going to do, and you're going to find yourself right in the very center of God's will. Now, if you want prayer or want to know more about our mentoring program, go to the website, jojoedawson.net. Anything and everything you need to know about us is on there. Love y'all. See you tomorrow.